Okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anil Prabhu, you can be on mute, and then we'll do the Mangalacharan prayer together, and then we can get started. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मत्समो नास्ति पापात्मा नपराधी च कश्चन परिहारेऽपि लज्जामे किं ब्रुवे पुरुषोत्तम युवतीनां यथा योनि यूनां च युवतौ यथा मनोभिरमते तद्वन्मनो मे रमतां त्वयि भूमौ स्खलितपादानां भूमिरेवावलम्बनं त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वामेव शरणं प्रभो गोविन्द वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थये त्वमहं सदा त्वदीयं इति जानातु गोविन्दो मां त्वया सह राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निजपादाब्जा दास्यं मह्यं प्रदीयताम् तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरिः कथञ्चन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्यं नमामि तम् संसारदुःखजलधौ प्रदस्य कामा क्रोधादिनक्रमकरे कबलीकृतस्य दुर्वासना निगडितस्य निराश्रयस्य चैतन्यचन्द्र मम देहि पदावलम्बम् चैतन्यचन्द्र मम देहि पदावलम्बम् Hare Krishna. So before we start, Anil Prabhu, do you have any general questions?
No, Prabhu.
Okay. So we'll start where we left off. Do you remember where we stopped? I think
Yes, Prabhu. We stopped at a paragraph just before one of the sloka, Krishna Surya Samamaya Haya Andhakara. The sloka just before that, one paragraph before that, we stopped over there.
Okay.
I made a mark in my notebook.
Mm-hmm.
As per our last class, where we stopped is
I'm checking, Prabhu. I think Vachavega we finished.
yeah, Vachavega. Yes, Vachavega. And today we have to complete this.
The significance of controlling the urge to speak.
Yes, correct. That's the place. Yes. The last but one paragraph of the sloka. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakara Hayan Krishna Tahan Nahi Maya
Yeah,
Andikara.
yeah. So basically, this is the significance of controlling the urge to speak. So we can revise. So this is written by Rupa Goswami. He gave this particular instructions of the nectar of instruction, Upadeshamrita it's called. And the first sloka of that is Vacho Vegam Manasakroda Vegam Jihva Vegam Udaropasta Vegam Etan Vegan Yo Vishaheta Dhira Sarvanapi Mam Prithivim Shashishyat. So anybody, a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So this is a very high statement. Um, so anybody, if somebody is choosing a spiritual master, a guru, first of all, they have to see that did this person conquer all these things? Vacho Vegam, the urge to speak or say something. The urges of the mind's demands. Our mind will say something, and the urges of the minds, did somebody control that? And the actions of anger, Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, the tongue, the urges of the tongue, Udara Upastha Vegam, Udara and Upastha. So belly and genitals, the urges of the belly, urges of the genitals. If somebody can tolerate these urges, that person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So that is what is being spoken here. Yeah. So let me share the screen again. And then we have gone through a series of things about the tongue, right? And now we can go to Manasaha. Manasaha, Krodha Vegam. So let's see the remaining things. I'll read till the Sanskrit and I'll give it to you. The restlessness or fickleness of the mind, Manovegam. Manovega is controlled when one can fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, 22nd chapter, 31 verse says, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakar Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Maya Radhikar. So Krishna is like the sun and Maya is like just like darkness. If the sun is present, there is no question of darkness, right? If sun is there, in the presence of sun, there is no darkness. Similarly, if Krishna is present in the mind, there is no possibility of minds being agitated by Maya's influence. So the other way to understand this statement is, whenever our mind is agitated by anything, we are not actually remembering Krishna. We are forgetful of Krishna. That is another way to look at it. As sun, whenever sun rises, the darkness is dissipated. So, and whenever there is a sun available, there is no question of darkness. Similarly, Maya is like just darkness, and when Krishna is present in the mind, there is no possibility of minds being agitated by Maya's influence. The yogic process of negating all material thoughts will not help. To try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. So a lot of people, there are a lot of yogic practices. People are saying that, you don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do this. This is all negation. This is not, this is not, this is not. So the yogi process of negating all material thoughts will not help here. And then people say that, okay, the person is sitting on meditation and completely is not having any thoughts. So that is not possible, is what here they are saying. The yogic process of negating all material thoughts will not help. To try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. There is no possibility of creating vacuum. So the senses are so strong, we cannot stop the senses. But when we engage the senses in the right way to satisfy the senses of Krishna, then the senses will be in control. Otherwise, the senses will not be in control. The vacuum will not remain. However, if one always thinks of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best, one's mind will naturally be controlled. So I think we should always, here they are saying, Rupa Goswami is saying that we should always think of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best. There,
Very
when
nice
it is
paragraph.
occupied on Krishna, then automatically it will be controlled. Okay. You can read this, Prabhu. This is about Krodha Vegam, anger.
Okay, Prabhu. Similarly, anger can be controlled. We cannot stop anger altogether, but if we simply become angry with those who blaspheme the Lord or the devotees of the Lord, we control our anger in Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became angry with the miscreant brother Jagai and Madai, who blasphemed and struck Nityananda Prabhu. In his
So
Sikshastaka,
let's hear this pastime, Prabhu. So basically, here anger can be controlled. So Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he is saying that anger can be controlled. We cannot stop anger altogether. But if anger can be diverted, also utilized in Krishna consciousness. So one example of a devotee who used anger in Krishna consciousness is Lord Hanuman. So Bhakta Hanuman. So Hanuman, he basically, when he was sent to Lanka, they were blaspheming Lord Ramachandra and they were trying to burn his tail. Right? He became angry and he lit the fire in the whole city of Lanka. He burnt it. So that is, a devotee can also be angry to protect Dharma, to protect the Vedas, to protect the essence of the Vedas, and to protect if somebody is blaspheming a devotee Vaishnav or Vedic literature, one can become angry to protect that particular situation. So there is a pastime here. Hare Krishna Venu Prabhu, Dhanot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanot Pranam.
Dhanot Pranam.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you for joining. So Lord
Thank
Chaitanya
you.
Mahaprabhu, once he asks both Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to go and preach. He said that go to every house and give them the holy name, ask them to chant, and then talk about Bhagavatam. So every day, these people were going and they'll knock at the door. And Nityananda Prabhu is so merciful that he used to bow down and catch the feet of the people in the house doorsteps. And he said, please take the name of Krishna. Please chant the name. Because that is the only deliverance. This material world is temporary. And whatever you are here, you will not know how to navigate it out. So chant the name of Krishna. Now they were doing this at every door, and then they came across a street where Jaga and Madai used to live. So Jaga and Madai are actually, they are born in a Brahmin family, and then they grew up very, very mischievously, and then later turned into dacoits. The way they were looting people, they were plundering their wealth, they were beating people, they were raping women, and then they were sometimes killing people, and they have become such a horror in the entire neighborhood, in the entire city of Navadvip. So Jaga and Madai is like that, and then Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu are now trying to go and preach to them. So there is this Jaga and Madai, very notorious dacoits. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not there. So Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur were trying to preach them Krishna consciousness, about chanting the holy name and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So immediately they were drunk. Jagai and Madai both were drunk. And then they were laughing. They were laughing at him. And then by nature, they are very, very problematic. They kill people and they torture them. They rape women. So very, very bad people. So when Nityananda Prabhu, he begged him, like, take the name of Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Then immediately there are some pots. So he took one pot and then he immediately threw it at Nityananda Prabhu to kill him. The intention is to kill him. So the pot struck on the forehead of Nityananda Prabhu and there is blood coming. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew about this incident, he immediately ran to that place, immediately, swiftly. And then he invoked his Sudarshan Chakra. He was very, very angry. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Mahavadanyaya. So basically, he is the most munificent Lord. Very, very merciful. Krishna told that you surrender unto me and then you'll come back to me without fail. So, but he put a condition that you surrender unto me. So until one surrenders to Krishna, they won't get Krishna's mercy. So in order to get Krishna's mercy, one has to approach Radharani. And in order to get Radharani's mercy, one has to actually approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In order to get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, one has to approach Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu is actually the Guru Tattva. He is the representative of Guru. And when he is being hit and when he is bleeding with that pot being hit on his forehead, so Krishna, he came running in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to kill this person. He invoked his Sudarshan Chakra and tried to sever the head of Madai. Then immediately Madai caught hold of the lotus feet and he said that please, do not kill me. Sorry, I take that back. Not Madai. So it is. So Nityananda Prabhu is actually bleeding, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes with this Sudarshan Chakra to sever the head of Madai, and then Nityananda Prabhu falls at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, "Please, they don't know. They have done this in ignorance. They don't know what they did. So please forgive them." And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking and he was very angry. It's not that he's just like showing the anger. He's like very, very angry. And he says, they blasphemed you. They tried to kill you. Madai tried to kill you. How can I spare this particular person? And that is what one should express when a Vaishnava is being blasphemed, a Vaishnava is being hurted somewhere. We have to protest. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like that, very angry, so Nityananda Prabhu fell at his feet and he's saying, please, give your mercy on him. And then seeing that Sudarshan Chakra and everything, Nityananda Prabhu said that, yes, this person, Madhai, he hit me with this pot. And the second time when he's taking another pot to hit me, this Jagai, he said that, stop, you don't have to kill him. They are not fighting. They are not fighting with us. So he told that. And immediately when Nityananda Prabhu recommended like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took back the Sudarshan Chakra and immediately put his lotus feet on Jagai's head. So Jagai, as soon as he heard that, Jagai stopped Madai in hitting Nityananda Prabhu for the second time. And then Nityananda Prabhu making a recommendation. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pacified and he put his lotus feet on Jagai's head. And Jagai immediately developed love for Krishna. He got the mercy. And then he was trembling in ecstasy. And his hair is standing on end like a kadamba flower. And then he was completely intoxicated with the love of Godhead. He started dancing, singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now looking at that, Madai, who fell down and who's on the ground. So Madai he immediately caught hold of Nityananda Prabhu's feet and he said that whatever Jagai did, I did. We both were together, we both looted together, we both killed people together, we were there together in whatever the sin that we have committed. Now he got the love of Godhead, please also give me. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, you will not. You're an offender to Nityananda Prabhu. So then he goes and falls at the feet of Nityananda Prabhu and begs forgiveness. And when he begs forgiveness from Nityananda Prabhu, that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed his lotus feet on Madhai also. And then he also developed the love for Krishna. So both Jagai and Madhai, now being very qualified Vaishnavas with the love of Godhead, they fell at the feet of both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and begged for forgiveness. They said that we have done so many sinful activities. How come you gave the mercy to us? How can we do to atone? We have done so many aparadhs. So many people we have hurt. Some people we have killed. Some people we have raped, looted. We have plundered their wealth. How can we atone ourselves? So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will say, you go to the Ganga and also construct a bathing place there. And on outside the bathing place, any devotee who comes to take bath in Ganga and comes, just beg for forgiveness and chant Hare Krishna all the time. So these are the two things that were told to Jagai and Madhai. So they will go there and as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directed, they will be doing that particular service. Now, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took all the sins of Jagai and Madhai, his body in a golden form, from golden it became black. And then he has created a loka, hellish planets, and he transferred all that sins into that particular loka. And anybody who blasphemes a Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, will get the sins of Jagai and Madhai. So it is very, very important that in order for Madhai, who tried to kill Nityananda Prabhu, he got mercy on the recommendation of Nityananda Prabhu. So when Nityananda Prabhu recommended, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the mercy. Similarly, we ourselves cannot get the mercy of Krishna. So we need to have a recommendation from a devotee of the Lord. Only then the Lord will start listening to us. So always we should approach spiritual master through a devotee. We should also approach anybody, anything that we wanted to do, we have to take permission and blessings from a Vaishnava. So that is the lesson from this particular pastime. And then here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his anger with the miscreant brother Jagai and Madhai who blasphemed and struck Nityananda Prabhu. So he became angry with them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and he came as Radha and Krishna combined avatar. And then his main goal is to preach Krishna consciousness. And at the same time, as he's living, he's also living a life of a devotee for us to follow. So that is the purpose of his incarnation. But he showed anger, which means that a devotee can also get anger. When Vedic literature is blasphemed or a devotee is hurt by someone, that is when we should exhibit our anger. One should never hear the criticism of a devotee. See, a lot of people have this habit of criticism, talking negative about devotees. If we hear anything negative about devotees told by anybody, then whatever the pious credits, whatever the devotion that we have, we will lose it. If we hear the blasphemy of a devotee, and if we do not do anything about it, we lose our devotional credits. Whatever the devotion creeper we have, that is destroyed. So it's very careful. So what should we do? Like say, if somebody is talking ill about a devotee, they're complaining about devotee. What you should say? Immediately you should say that I don't want to hear anything. And you should put the phone or you should leave that place immediately. You should not sit there and listen to the negative qualities described by somebody about any devotee. Whether it is in temple or in a home front or in your Bhakti Vriksha, anywhere. If somebody is talking anything negative about a particular devotee, a Vaishnava, you should not listen to that, no matter who that particular person is speaking. If we sit and just listen, we will lose our determination in, or also faith in Krishna Bhakti. So we will lose our Bhakti. So it's very, very important to, first of all, not to blaspheme the devotees. And you should not see and keep quiet when the devotees are blasphemed. And you should not hear the blasphemy of a devotee from anybody. And if you do these things without taking proper Vaishnava etiquette action, then you will be implicated, or you will lose your bhakti. So that is why we should be very, very careful. Now you may ask a question, what should we do? Somebody is like either called us or they are in the phone, the temple, in a group, they started speaking anything negative about another devotee. You should immediately run out of that place. You should immediately cut that call. You should never, never, never hear a blasphemy of a devotee coming from anybody. I'll pause here. So, Venu Prabhu, Anil Prabhu, do you have any questions or reflections in this particular area?
Very nicely explained about Jagai Madai, Nityananda Prabhu showing mercy, and then Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessing them by putting his feet on their heads.
Okay. So what should we do when we hear the blasphemy of a devotee then?
We should be saying that, we don't want to hear anything and then move away from that place to keep our spiritual connection, or to keep not to come down or fall down from the spiritual kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's very, very important. And then that devotee can be anybody. He can be a new devotee also. Can be a new devotee.
Yep.
Can be another sampradaya also. It's not just Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya in the Prabhupada's line. But if somebody is blaspheming another Vaishnava, that also we should not. We should not, in a different lineage. For example, if somebody is blaspheming a devotee in the Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmi Sampradaya, so that also we should not tolerate. We should not sit and listen that. So if you see that in the website, immediately close the website. If you see that in any web page, in a YouTube video or a Twitter or anything, you immediately, as soon as you see some blasphemy of a devotee is happening, you should immediately come out of that particular window, close the window of the YouTube, or don't read anything further. That is very, very important. But if you read and if you participate in that particular discussion, you lose the whatever the devotion you have. It is very, very difficult. Sometimes we may lose the faith, and then slowly people will also turn to atheism. So it's a very important thing. And another thing we are discussing here is about anger, right? So if somebody blasphemes either Vedic literature, or if they blaspheme Vedas or the Supreme Lord, any demigods, somebody is blaspheming demigods or any scriptures for that matter, the one should not sit and listen to that blasphemy. There are 4 kinds of action approved in the Vedas for a person who's hearing such things. If at all you encounter somebody blaspheming either a devotee or Vedas or Vedic literature, then immediately you have to do these 4 things. One of these 4 things. One is you go and kill that person. It is approved in the Shastra. Second is you commit suicide. You kill yourself because you are not you have heard such a blasphemy of a Vaishnava. There is no point living. Third, is to use your Shastric knowledge, the understanding of the Shastras, and have a debate, fight, and defeat that other person, that he is wrong. That is another method you can apply. Fourth is the easiest one. You just walk out from that particular place. And dear devotees, please do not do the first two. There are very less Vaishnavas. So don't engage in killing somebody or killing yourself. But the other two aspects, the best thing is in that situation, and if you don't know and you don't have control of that particular situation, you immediately walk out of that situation. If you are hearing something on the phone, you cut the call. If you are seeing a YouTube video, you end it. You close the window. Or if you are in a conversation with a group of friends, imagine that you got a call suddenly and then you act that, I got a call, I need to take this call and run away from that place and never come back. Right? So these are some of the things that you can employ. And the best thing to do is to kind of go away from that particular place. Now, what if you have already did a mistake by staying there and hearing that? So unknowingly, if you do that, then the best course at that particular point is to go and beg for forgiveness of the Vaishnava who is being blasphemed. Ask for his forgiveness. So that way, we can come out of that particular problem. Otherwise we should not. So anger, in general, anger on anything, that somebody who can control the urge of the anger, that person is also, along with all the other things like the tongue, anger, urges of the mind, and then the urges of the belly and the genitals. So if somebody can overcome that, if somebody can control those urges without reacting, so that person can make disciples all over the world. So that is the pastime here about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he delivered Jagai and Madai. Okay. Hare Krishna, Sanita Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, Prabhuji.
So Anil Prabhu, you can read it again. Continue reading.
Okay, Prabhu. In his Sikshastaka, Lord Chaitanya wrote, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahisnuna. One should be humbler than the grass and more tolerant than the tree. One may then ask why the Lord exhibited his anger. The point is that one should be ready to tolerate all insults to one's own self. But when Krishna or his pure devotee is blasphemed, a genuine devotee becomes angry and acts like a fire against the offenders. Krodha, anger, cannot be stopped, but it can be applied rightly. It was in anger that Hanuman set fire to Lanka, but he is worshipped as the greatest devotee of Lord Ramachandra. This means that he utilized his anger in the right way. Arjuna serves as another example. He was not willing to fight, but Krishna incited his anger. You must fight. To fight without anger is not possible. Anger is controlled. However, when utilized in the service of the Lord.
Yeah, anger is controlled, however, when utilized in the service of the Lord. So there is no way that we can control the anger. But you should utilize the anger in Krishna's service. But again, this can also bring a lot of, you need to have a lot of maturity to handle this particular thing. Otherwise, our spiritual teachers say that better not use anger anytime. Because in the utilization of the anger, you should be very careful not to offend devotees. So not to commit any more Vaishnava paradhs. That should be very careful. So the best thing is to avoid anger on anyone. But if anger can be controlled and employed in situations where you are dealing with the blasphemy of the devotees or the Lord himself, that anger is okay. That is justified. And the anger is also controlled, however, when it is utilized in the service of the Lord. Okay. So Venu Prabhu, you can read this paragraph.
Yes, Prabhu. As for the urges of the tongue, we all experience that the tongue wants to eat palatable dishes. Generally, we should not allow the tongue to eat according to its choice, but should control the tongue by supplying prasada. The devotee's attitude is that he will eat only when Krishna gives him prasada. That is the way to control the urge of the tongue. One should take prasada at scheduled times and should not eat in restaurants or sweet sweet meat shops simply to satisfy the whims of the tongue or belly. If we stick to the principle of taking only prasada, the urges of the belly and tongue can be controlled.
Thank you. Thank you, Venu Prabhu. So here,
Thank you.
you know, as per the shloka that we are discussing, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, Udaropasta Vegam, Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Dira, Sarvan Apiman, Prithivimsa Sishyat. Vacho Vegam, controlling of the tongue, our vacha, our speech. Manasaha, you control the demands of the mind. The mind gives so many demands. One should control that. Krodha Vegam, one should also control the urge of anger. Jihva Vegam is the tongue. Udaropasta. Udara means stomach, right? People want to, tongue and stomach, people want to eat something. People want to eat sweets. People want to eat whatever they want. But here, Prabhupada is saying that one should not eat anything that is not offered to Krishna. We should not go to a restaurant and buy things just because, we want to eat something, right? So whatever you wanted to eat, still, you can prepare it for Krishna, offer it to Krishna, and then you can eat. The best thing is, we should also think of Krishna. We are cooking for Krishna, and we are taking prasad, what is left after Krishna honors. That is the best attitude. But if you are not there yet, whatever you wanted to eat, especially without onion, garlic, and without meat, onion and garlic, fish, eggs, without any of these, you can cook vegetarian dish properly and you can offer to Krishna and you can eat. Same thing with the sweets. You can also make the sweet, offer to Krishna, and then you can honor. But we should not go to a restaurant just because we wanted to eat something. We will go to a restaurant and get it. Right? So if you eat only prasad, then the urges of the belly and tongue can be controlled easily. So that is the message here. Okay. Sanihita Mataji, you can read the next paragraph.
Yes, Prabhuji. In a similar manner, the urges of genitals, the sex impulse, can be controlled when not used unnecessarily. The genitals should be used to beget a Krishna conscious child. Otherwise, they should not be used. The Krishna consciousness movement encourages marriage not for the satisfaction of the genitals, but for the begetting of Krishna conscious children. As soon as the children are a little grown up, they are sent to our Gurukula school, where they are trained to become fully Krishna conscious devotees. Many such Krishna conscious children are required, and one who is capable of bringing forth Krishna conscious offspring is allowed to utilize his genitals.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Krishna, if you remember, when we discussed Bhagavad Gita, Kamosmi Bharatarshaba. Seven 11. So, in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 11th shloka, Krishna says that when he is talking about his opulences, Balam Balavatam Chaham, Balam Balavatam Chaham, Kamaraga Vivarjitam, Dharma Viruddho Bhuteshu, Kamosmi Bharatar Shabha. So he's saying that I am the strength of the strong. Anybody who's strong, if you are seeing, that strength is Krishna. That strength is coming from Krishna. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. And I am the sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. O Lord of the Bharatas, Arjuna. And Krishna is saying that the pleasure, the so-called pleasure that a man and woman experience when they come together in union, that is also Krishna. But he's saying that I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. Dharma viruddho. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. So Krishna is allowing, but in the context of marriage, people, like, first of all, they are just marrying people who are attractive and who are attracted by sex desire. But on the contrary, Krishna consciousness teaching, Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada, what they are suggesting here is that it's okay to beget children. It's okay to beget children, but only for the sake of raising the children in Krishna consciousness. That should be the only mood. But otherwise, if a man and woman are coming together just to have or enjoy their sex life, that is prohibited. One can utilize the genitals only. Many such Krishna conscious children are required, and one who is capable of bringing forth Krishna conscious offspring is allowed to use his genital. Otherwise, they are not allowed. It is pure sin. It is just sin. If Krishna consciousness children is not produced. When one is fully practiced in the methods of Krishna conscious control, he can become qualified to be a bona fide spiritual master. When somebody is employing all these methods, all these controls, control of her tongue, control of the belly, control of the genitals, anger and mind, that person, he can be qualified to become the bona fide spiritual master for the entire world. In his Anuvritti explanation of Upadeshamrita, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes that our material identification creates three kinds of urges: the urge to speak, the urge or demands of the mind, and the demands of the body. When a living entity falls victim to these three types of urges, his life becomes inauspicious. One who practices resisting these demands or urges is called tapasvi, or one who practices austerities. By such tapasya, one can overcome victimization by the material energy, the external potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one should overcome that, so that with this tapasya, one can overcome the material energy, which is called Maya or Durga, which is the external potency of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Lord's internal energy's main occupation is to keep the living entity bound by the desires. That is her task. Now, so long somebody has desires, they will have to come back to the birth and death cycle again and again. They have to take a different body to enjoy the demands that they are having. Each time they have that enjoying mentality, they'll have to come again and again and again. So only when somebody restrains from doing these things, that is when they can make disciples all over the world, and at the same time, they will also not have to be born again. So if somebody has any question, please stop and ask. When we refer to the urge to speak, we refer to useless talking, such as the impersonal Mayavadi philosophers, or of persons engaged in fruitive activities, technically called karma kanda, or of materialistic people who simply want to enjoy life without restriction. So basically, if you talk to anybody other than Krishna consciousness people, other than people interested in spiritual discussion, usually what will they talk? It's all useless talking. They will either talk about impersonal Mayavadi philosophers. Like somebody will claim themselves to be philosophers, but what will be they talking? It's all impersonal. They say that the God is not personal, it's impersonal. Mayavadi, I am a God, but I forgot about it. I'm actually going to be a God soon now. There are theories like that. Or people talk about, you can do this particular karma kanda, you'll get this benefit. You do this particular puja and you'll get this particular benefit, right? Okay, are you not having children? Okay, do this vrata, you'll get children. Are you not having, are you not getting married? So you do this particular vrata or puja and you'll get married. So this is all called karma kanda. So this is also falls into the urge to speak. Like anytime, anywhere, you go to a school, the whole process of speech is they teach you economics, how to make money, and that's it. Whatever the literature, anything which is not related to Krishna is useless talking. With that, you get nowhere. So either people talk about impersonal Mayavadi philosophers, or any gossip, or any fruitive activities, or materialistic people in general who simply want to enjoy life without any restriction. All such talks or literature are practical exhibitions of the urge to speak. So all the things that we are hearing, or all the people that they are talking, or any literature, fiction, or anything, any book other than Krishna, all the literature are the exhibition of the urge to speak. One should control that urge to speak. Many people are talking nonsensically and writing volumes of useless books. Every day there is paper, newspaper. It's printed like thousands, millions of copies. Everybody's door, they throw the newspaper and everybody consumes all that information. It's of no use. Many people are talking nonsensically and writing volumes of useless books. And all this is the result of urge to speak. The novel, urge to speak. To counteract this tendency, we have diverted our talking to the subject of Krishna. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.10 to 11. Nayadvachaschitrapadam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragrinita karhichet tadvayasam tirtanusanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti shikshaya. In those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, any words that do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly people to be like unto place of pilgrimage of crows. Since the all-perfect persons are inhabitant of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. Pilgrimage of crows. Have you ever seen crows? If you see crows and swans, the swan goes into a clear water lake and starts swimming. It's always available only in the clear water. We will never see a swan going into a trash area and picking some dirt. But you throw the garbage from your home, all the material, whatever is like completely spoiled, food, items and everything, you put it in a basket and dump it into a dustbin. The crows will come and then they'll start poking each and everything, and then they'll try to eat that, and then they'll, in between he'll say cow, cow, cow. So basically they are talking and they're eating just garbage. So what they are saying, those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who are not talking about Krishna, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, and those people who are talking anything other than Krishna are considered by saintly people unto a place of pilgrimage of crows. Since the all-perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. So basically the devotees will not derive any pleasure hearing to the gossip or engaging in this particular useless and nonsensical talks. And then Bhagavatam also says, Tadvag visargo janatagha viplavo yasmin pratishlokamam abhaddavadyapi namanyanantasya yashonkitani yat shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. Sanihita Mataji, can you read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Advag Visargo Janataga Viplavo. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories. Yasmin Pratishloka Abadhavatyapi. Naman Yanantasya Yeshonkitani Yat. The descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name of the Lord, fame of the Lord, forms of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord, etc. What are the examples? Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam glorifies the name, the fame of Lord Krishna, the forms of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. Today's world is completely misdirected. As soon as somebody is born, they'll put it in a school in 3 years, and then they'll go, they'll learn, and then there is competition. Yes, you become an engineer, doctor, teacher, whatever, just make money. Just make money, whatever it takes, and then try to enjoy. So that is what you get married, you beget children, you enjoy more, you occupy more, you earn more. This is all misdirected civilization. So, but on the other hand, if the name of the Lord, fame of the Lord, pastimes, forms, etc., transcendental glories, such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, even if it is not perfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Those people who are thoroughly honest are accept that kind of literature. So here, the conclusion is that only when we talk about devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can we refrain from useless, nonsensical talk. Unless you start talking about devotional service, you cannot restrain from useless talking. We should always endeavor to use our speaking power solely for the purpose of realizing Krishna consciousness. You either speak Krishna Katha or hear Krishna Katha. And then your tongue is purified, your words are purified. Otherwise, it's all useless, nonsensical talk of no value. Okay, Anil Prabhu, you can read this paragraph.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I have a small doubt regarding this.
Yes, go ahead.
If so many devotees work outside, like not in the temple but outside, like software and so many in so many other fields, so they should talk, like for example, telecalling, or if somebody works there, they should talk extra more than what is needed, and which is not completely needed. So for them, if they are devotees, if they want to do bhakti and if they want to purify themselves, then how could they purify themselves by doing such jobs? And without such jobs, their living is very hard. And with such jobs, they couldn't progress in Krishna consciousness. Then how, what is the solution for them if they want to continue in Krishna consciousness without doing prajalpa?
Very, very good question. So you talked about devotees, right? So devotees are working, say, in a call center or a tele advertisement or whatever. Why are they working there? To make some money, right? Yes or no?
I couldn't hear.
No. Why are they working there? Why are they doing that particular job? To make some money.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Why are they making money?
For living and
For living and maintaining their family members.
yes.
And what are they doing at home once they get that money?
Service. Like they'll use it for service, some money for service and some money for their own.
Right.
Sometime.
So basically, what I'm getting at it is, yes, people have to work, but it depends upon what is your intention. Why are you working? So the intention to work is to make money. What will you use that money for? Yes, the intention is to make money, but once the money comes, what will you do? Okay, you'll buy a house or you rent a house, and then do what? Some people buy a house, some people rent a house, and then they call all is their relatives and they'll throw a party. So if that is the intention, the whole thing is waste. But say they're working, they're earning money, they're renting or buying a place so that they can call devotees to have a home program, to have Krishna Katha. They're facilitating devotees, they're giving donations for devotees. Then that is good. And so in this world, we have to utilize whatever the intelligence that is given to us. We cannot renounce those activities. A renounced person came, a saintly person said, I renounced everything. Then Krishna will ask, what is it yours that you have renounced? What is yours that you have renounced? Yeah, I'm not attached from my family members, but who are the family members? Did you create them? Right? You did not create your family members, right? Yes, if the mother and father is there, I mean, they beget children, but still, without the intervention of the seed-giving father, Krishna, the child is not born, right? So, she's my wife, this is my bangla, this is my plot. Yes, you bought it, but did you create that sand? Did you create that earth? No, it's all created by Krishna. So what is yours that you can renounce? There is nothing. So true renunciation is, with whatever the abilities that we have, we employ those abilities to progress our lives in Krishna consciousness, utilizing those things. So if somebody is working in telemarketing, they can do that particular job, earn the money, bring in the salary, buy vegetables, cook bhoga, nice bhoga, offer it to Krishna and take Krishna prasadam. That is perfectly fine. Or invite devotees, give them gifts, have a home program. That is perfectly fine. But if somebody is earning a high salary or low salary, whatever, and if he's inviting his friends and throwing a drinking party, boozing party, these kind of things, then they are trying to do sense enjoyment there. So that is not right. So you can do any job, you can do any business, but what are you doing with that money? That matters. So Sanita Mataji, is that helpful?
Yes, Prabhuji. But like when we think of things like the entire day, what we do, that only the consciousness will observe that thing only, no, Prabhuji. If they continuously talk about some such nonsense things in their job, and how is it possible to purify their consciousness? Not only that particular job, like any other field, even in software, they'll talk all such different things apart from devotional, spiritual things. So how is it possible for them to purify their thing, like mind and heart, probably?
Yeah. So Prabhupada gives one example. A newly wedded wife, if she has a secret lover, so she's newly wedded, she comes to the husband's family, but she has another secret lover. But she'll be engaged in all kinds of duties. She will work more to satisfy her husband. She'll work more so that nobody gets any doubt. But she will always think, when will I meet that particular lover? So similarly, Krishna consciousness person, whether they are working in any company, yes, as a matter of duty, you do your work, do a good job at office, at workplace, but constantly you have to think about Krishna. Krishna is my Lord and Krishna. So I'm doing everything for Krishna. So your smaran should be on Krishna. Yes, I'm doing all this work so that the month ending there will be a salary, and with that salary I'm going to give donation. or I will buy these clothes for Krishna. I will celebrate a festival nicely, Janmashtami. So your mind can still be filled with Krishna, with thoughts of Krishna, even while you are engaging in all these activities. Even while you're driving your car, you're going to your office, you know the way, but you can keep thinking of Krishna, or you can listen to the, when you're driving the car, you can put a audio lecture about Krishna, how he enjoyed the Madhura, Vrindavan pastimes, what he did in Madhura, how he dealt himself with Pandavas, all that, you can run some lecture in the background, and you can reach your office. And yes, 1 or 2 hours you work, and while you're eating Krishna Prasadam, right? You're thinking of Krishna there. And then while driving back, you're again thinking of Krishna. In that particular moment, 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours, yes, you do your work. And if somebody is talking something, in the mind, you are feeling separation from Krishna. These people don't know about Krishna. I'm missing Krishna. You can still think like that. So that is how one should engage. One should engage. We should give association to others, but we should not take their association. The meaning is, we should mingle with people when we are talking. Everybody says, I watched this movie, it's so nice. And if you think that, oh, that movie is really good, let me also go and see. That means we are taking their association. We are getting influenced by their thought process. Or on the other way, yeah, that is just you listen and then you forget. You don't have to oppose there. But you make some friends and then invite them. Janmashtami is coming up. Why don't you come to temple? Or we have a home program. Please come. So that way we can give our association, but not take take their association, right? In the bus, when you are going to college every day, if you're traveling in a bus, so many hundreds of people will come. They'll sit next to you, and somebody will be traveling with you, and strangers, everybody, right? You don't take all those things very seriously. Your destination is to go to college, finish your studies, and come back home. But you don't deal with like impressions of what is happening every day in the bus. You don't get caught up with those things. So similarly, this job is also like that. You go, you just work there and come back. The whole point is you make some salary so that you can live a Krishna conscious life, right? You still have your family at home, but you have some work friends. Just deal with them as just for the business thing, and then don't take their association too much, and then you do your activities. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we read the conclusion. The conclusion is that only when we talk about devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can we refrain from useless nonsensical talk. We should always endeavor to use our speaking power solely for the purpose of realizing Krishna consciousness. Yeah. And then we can read this next week. Agitation of the recurring mind. So anybody has any more questions? Anil Prabhu, Venu Prabhu.
Prabhu, like in connection with the previous question, sometimes people get carried away and get influenced by other people. Say like if people are partying, or they go to pub, friends force them to go to pub or for entertainment. Then how to avoid in such situations? I mean, it's very difficult. You cannot say for a devotee who is a fresh devotee or who is unmarried or who is just entering into a job.
Yeah.
How can you handle his emotions?
Good question, Prabhu. So first time, when somebody is learning to cook, right? They'll lit the fire and they'll put a tumbler, whatever, and they'll start cooking. And the fire is more, and the first time they try to catch the tumbler, it's very hot. What will happen? They'll have a burn in their hands. Once they have a burn, on the second day when they are cooking, will they again touch the tumbler, hot tumbler?
No problem. No.
Why? Because they got a shock. Yesterday they got a shock. The tumbler was very hot. So they'll be very careful. Now they'll get a cloth. With the cloth carefully, they'll hold and they'll start cooking. Am I right? So only once they'll have. You will have a bad experience only once. Oh, I had this bad experience yesterday. Today the fire may not be that hot. It is steaming, but yesterday it burned my hand, but today it may not burn. Nobody will catch like that, right? No matter how weak mind they are. Am I right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Second example, electric plug. Electric plug, if you catch a live wire, it'll give you a shock. If the switch is on and if you catch a live wire, you'll give a shock. First time you hold it, you will get a shock. Second time, will you ever hold in your life again?
No, no.
All right. Even the weak mind, whatever the weakest mind, still you won't, right? So similarly, you go with a group of people, you go into pub, and then you realize that these people, they have come here to drink. Their activity is sense gratification. You observe that. Why are you going second time? Already you had an experience. The second time you should not go. So what I'm trying to say is, if unknowingly, if somebody called and without planning, accidentally you went there, that's the first experience, you got burnt. But second time when you're again, you know that this particular friend calls and he will definitely take me to that particular place. First of all, you should cut that particular friend's call. You should not even take it. That person is not called a friend. So that is one way of explanation. Second way of explanation is, okay, I am a weak-minded person. The group of people called me. I'm very innocent. They took me to the pub. You remain very innocent person. You go to temple. There will be a group of people in the temple. They will also ask you to chant. Very innocently, because they asked you to chant, you generally do. You also chant 32 rounds, 16 rounds with the same innocence. So that way you'll be protected. So we should choose our friends. Who is pulling me towards sense gratification? Who is pulling me away from Krishna? Who is that person who is pulling me towards Krishna? You make more friends who are pulling you towards Krishna. And you don't answer the calls. You delete their phone numbers. Don't even look at their face next time. When suddenly somebody appears outside, you just see that, they don't exist, just you walk. Or if you have the will, you say that, okay, I'm not interested to go there. Venu Prabhu, is that helpful?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Because I have seen many younger generation, they study hard, they make money, they find a new job, and when they get high salaries for the first time, they start enjoying. In Hyderabad, like it's happening. And I don't know, like how this culture is going. I mean, we cannot understand. In Hyderabad, high tech city, all
See,
such places.
that is enjoying, quote unquote, enjoying. Why don't they take their daughter, 5-year-old daughter, to that particular enjoying place? If it is an enjoying place, they should take their mother, they should take their daughter, so that all their family members can also enjoy, right? So that is not enjoyment. It is the pretext of enjoyment, they're actually suffering.
Mm.
It is a filthy place. It is a filthy place. It is a place where you cannot even take your mother. In the temple, when there is a kirtan going on, will you ever hesitate to take your mother or your daughter there?
No,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
The corporate companies also, they are organizing events and parties for the employees, such kind of parties.
Yeah, that's fine. Let them do whatever they want. But everywhere it happens. Even the place that I work also it happens. It happens. So annual party, there will be all these things. They'll put all people start drinking, people start dancing. There is a music, there is this, that, everything, and they invite everybody. Sometimes, generally I don't go, but if I have to go, I know my limits. I'll go and see that out of all those 1,000 people, anybody I can find whom I can give Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. I can make a connection, and there also you can start preaching. You can say that, one thing, all these things, this is not really enjoyment. The real enjoyment is to come out of the cycle of birth and death. See, everybody's getting old. From last year to this year, our age has increased by 1 year. We have become 1 year closer to death. So, find, make friends, give Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. That should be our vision. Or don't go to that place. By any chance, if you're obligated to go, yes, you go. You have a little bit of water there and you come back. That's it. So you have to be like a leaf, lotus leaf. It grows in very muddy place, Burda. It grows in that, but it is not touched by all that. Because if you put water, it doesn't stick. It will just drip from that. Similarly, devotee should be like that. Wherever that particular devotee is present, you try to purify them, other person, you try to give, otherwise don't go there. At the same time, don't fight with them also, because they don't know. They don't know what they are doing. So more than worrying about their situation, we should worry and protect ourselves. If I get influenced by that particular situations, then knowing that I am a weak-hearted person, I am a weak-minded person, and if I go there, if they ask me to do something, I will do it, end up doing it. So first of all, don't go there. Or go there with a very, very strong-minded devotee. You take one more devotee with you, and take, so that the devotee will also protect you and help you. So that weak mind also say that, okay, if I am a weak-minded person, I go to temple, I'm very innocent. They are chanting 16 rounds. I took the mala they gave and they asked me to do 16 rounds and I started doing 16 rounds with weak mind. That's fine, right? Okay, Venu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Anil Prabhu, any question, comment?
No question, Prabhu. Very nicely explained.
Okay. So we'll do the remaining thing next week. Thank you so much for joining. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam.
No, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam.